Every morning, millions of people wake up and instantly fall into chaos, their minds hijacked by notifications, headlines, and noise. Before they even get out of bed, the world is already pulling them in 100 directions. They start the day not with purpose but with panic, not with clarity but with confusion. But it doesn't have to be that way. There's a different path, a path walked by warriors, emperors, and philosophers. A path that begins not with noise, but with silence. It's the Stoic path. And in the next few minutes, you'll discover 7 simple but powerful Stoic habits that will help you reclaim your mornings, and with them, your mind, your time, and your life. Number 1. Start with stillness, practicing morning mindfulness. Before the world demands your attention, before the noise of the day floods in, pause. Just pause, even if it's for only 2 minutes. This simple act, though it might seem insignificant, is one of the most powerful things you can do. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, whose days were filled with politics, war, and unimaginable responsibility, began each morning not by rushing into action, but by sitting in quiet reflection. In his private writings, never meant to be published, he reminded himself of who he was, what he stood for, and how fleeting everything around him truly was. That's the first habit: stillness. In our modern world, most people wake up and immediately reach for their phones. They scroll, they react, they compare. Within seconds, they're emotionally hijacked by headlines, messages, images of other people's lives. And without realizing, they've handed over control of their day to something or someone else. The Stoic refuses to do that. To practice this habit, you don't need incense or candles. You don't need a meditation cushion or an hour of silence. All you need is a decision to begin your day on your terms. Wake up, sit upright, close your eyes if it helps, and just breathe. Let the thoughts come and go. Don't fight them. Just observe. And when you're ready, gently ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? Not what you want to achieve, that's external. Instead, ask what inner qualities you want to embody. Will I face discomfort with courage? Will I choose patience over anger? Will I stay kind even when it's hard? This is how the Stoics began their day. Not by chasing, but by centering. They understood that a calm mind is a powerful mind, and that you can't lead your life wisely if you don't first lead your thoughts. Morning mindfulness isn't just a trend, it's a training ground. It's where you prepare for the day like a warrior sharpens their blade. Because once you step out into the world, things will try to pull you in every direction. Deadlines, bad news, difficult people. But if you've grounded yourself in stillness, you won't be easily shaken. Over time, this practice builds something more valuable than motivation. It builds clarity, resilience, and self-awareness. And slowly, you stop being someone who merely reacts to life and become someone who leads it. That transformation begins not with some massive action, but with a moment of stillness, right at the start of your day. Number 2, master your emotions. Respond, don't react. Emotions are a natural part of being human, and while they can enrich our experience, they can also lead us astray if we allow them to dictate our actions. The Stoics understood that while we can't always control the events in our lives, we always have control over how we respond to them. Epictetus, one of the core figures of Stoic philosophy, famously said, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." This is a powerful reminder that it's not the events or circumstances that upset us. It's how we perceive them and the judgments we attach to them. When you wake up in the morning, your emotions may already be on full display. Perhaps you feel the weight of yesterday's stress, the nervousness about an upcoming meeting, or even frustration from unresolved issues. The Stoics don't teach us to suppress these feelings, but to face them head-on with awareness and mindfulness. The first step is to pause and observe. What am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? By simply acknowledging the emotions without judgment, you separate yourself from them. You are no longer the slave to your emotional impulses, but the observer, in control of how you choose to react. This practice of observing your emotions before reacting creates a powerful shift in your mindset. Instead of being tossed around by every wave of anger, fear, or frustration, you learn to respond thoughtfully. When you're faced with a challenge, whether it's a difficult person, an unexpected setback, or a personal failure, you don't immediately react with irritation or defensiveness. Instead, you can ask yourself, what's the most rational way to respond to this? What can I control, and what can I let go of? How can I handle this situation with wisdom and calm, rather than letting it control me? This approach doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means developing the discipline to control your reactions, to pause before speaking or acting, and to decide whether a response is wise or driven purely by emotion. The more you practice this, the less power emotions will have over you. Instead of being at the mercy of fleeting feelings, you become anchored in your ability to respond from a place of reason and inner strength. By taking the time each morning to check in with yourself emotionally, you equip yourself with the clarity to handle any challenge that comes your way. When life throws curveballs, big or small, you'll find yourself reacting less out of anger, fear, or frustration, and more with a sense of calm and control. This is the Stoic way, to acknowledge emotions without letting them control your decisions, to live consciously rather than reactively. And with time, this habit will build resilience, allowing you to face the world with unwavering composure and a clear mind. Number 3, learn from pain and failure. View setbacks as opportunities for growth. In life, pain and failure are inevitable, but it's how we respond to them that defines us. The Stoics were not strangers to hardship. In fact, they embraced it as an essential part of life's process. They didn't see suffering as something to avoid, but as something to learn from. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled over the Roman Empire, faced personal and political challenges that would break most people. Yet he chose to view each difficulty as an opportunity to strengthen his character. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This powerful Stoic principle teaches us to reframe our perspective on adversity. Instead of dreading failure or running from pain, we can begin to see them as tools for personal growth. Every setback, every disappointment, is a chance to become more resilient, more wise, and more capable. When something goes wrong in your day, whether it's a mistake at work, a personal failure, or a challenge you weren't prepared for, stop and ask yourself, What can I learn from this? What does this situation reveal about my strengths and weaknesses? This question shifts your focus from victimhood to empowerment. It turns obstacles into stepping stones, teaching you that failure isn't final. It's part of the journey. The oi. Stoics weren't advocating for a mindset where we actively seek out failure or pain. Instead, they understood that life will inevitably present these challenges, and when it does, the key is not to be consumed by frustration or regret. Instead, look at them as teachers. Every difficulty is an opportunity to sharpen your mind, refine your character, and practice virtues like patience, perseverance, and humility. When you learn to embrace pain and failure with this mindset, you stop seeing them as setbacks, but as moments of growth. Each time you face adversity, you strengthen your resolve, deepen your wisdom, and build the resilience needed to handle future challenges. This habit isn't about ignoring your pain or pretending everything is okay. It's about choosing to see pain as part of the process. In this way, even the most difficult situations can become powerful opportunities for personal transformation. By adopting this Stoic approach, you'll no longer fear failure or hardship. Instead, you'll approach them with curiosity and strength, knowing that every setback is simply another step on your path to growth. Number 4, cultivate humility and gratitude. Appreciate what you have. In a world constantly pushing for more success, more possessions, more recognition, it's easy to forget the importance of humility and gratitude. The Stoics, however, emphasize these virtues as essential to living a fulfilled life. They understood that true happiness doesn't come from accumulating wealth or status, but from appreciating what you already have. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, reminded, "To me, a wise man is content with what he has, not with what he wants." In other words, contentment comes from recognizing the value in what's already present in our lives. Starting your day with a moment of humility and gratitude is a powerful way to shift your mindset from one of scarcity to abundance. Take a moment each morning before the world begins to demand your attention to reflect on the things you're grateful for. It could be the love of your family, the opportunity to do meaningful work, your health, or simply the gift of a new day. By acknowledging these things first thing in the morning, you ground yourself in the present moment and remind yourself of the richness already surrounding you. Humility doesn't mean denying your desires or goals, but rather recognizing that you don't need to chase after everything to find contentment. It means acknowledging that what you have right now is enough. This mindset frees you from the endless cycle of comparison and competition that often fuels stress and dissatisfaction. Instead of waking up and immediately thinking about what you lack or what you need to achieve, you can begin your day by appreciating all that's already in your life. When you combine humility with gratitude, you start your day with a sense of peace. You no longer feel driven by a desperate need to prove yourself or to accumulate more. Instead, you cultivate a sense of inner calm, knowing that what you have is valuable and that your worth is not tied to external achievements. This attitude allows you to navigate life with less frustration, more contentment, and a deeper sense of purpose. Gratitude, when practiced daily, can transform your perspective. It reminds you that even in difficult moments, There is always something to appreciate, whether it's a lesson learned, the support of a loved one, or simply the fact that you are alive and able to grow. Humility and gratitude shift your focus from what's missing in your life to what's already present, helping you build a foundation of inner peace that will carry you through the challenges of the day. Number 5. Embrace self-control and self-responsibility. Own your actions and thoughts. One of the cornerstones of Stoic philosophy is the understanding that we are the architects of our own lives. We can't always control external events, but we can always control our responses. The Stoics taught that true freedom comes from mastering our impulses and taking full responsibility for our thoughts, actions, and reactions. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, put it simply, "We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens." Self-control and responsibility are not about suppressing your desires or denying your emotions. They're about understanding that you have the power to choose how you engage with the world around you. Each morning, before you rush into the day, remind yourself that you have control over how you respond to everything that happens. No one else can dictate how you think, feel, or act unless you allow them to. Start by acknowledging that you are responsible for your thoughts and actions. If you find yourself frustrated by a situation, ask, "How am I contributing to this? What can I do to change my response?" This level of self-awareness puts you in the driver's seat of your life, empowering you to act with intention instead of reacting impulsively. It also fosters a mindset of ownership. When something goes wrong, instead of blaming others or external circumstances, the Stoic response is to look inward and ask, "What part did I play in this? How can I learn from it and do better next time?" This doesn't mean you should take on guilt or self-blame unnecessarily, but rather that you should accept full responsibility for your role in any situation. When you take ownership, you stop being a passive observer in your own life. You become an active participant, creating change rather than merely reacting to it. Self-control also extends to the way you manage your emotions and impulses. The Stoics understood that it's not the big dramatic moments that shape our lives, but the small, everyday choices. How do you respond when someone cuts you off in traffic? How do you react when your plans are interrupted or when things don't go your way? By practicing self-control, you begin to notice these small moments and train yourself to respond with patience, grace, and thoughtfulness. This sense of personal responsibility and self-control leads to a life of greater resilience and clarity. You stop blaming the world or circumstances for your emotions and start recognizing that you have the power to choose how you experience life. Every choice you make, every thought you entertain, is within your control. And by practicing this mindset each morning, you set the tone for a day where you are the one in charge. Not your emotions, not your circumstances, but you. Number 6, focus on the present. Be fully engaged in the now. The Stoics understood that dwelling on the past or worrying about the future only robs us of the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, repeatedly emphasized the importance of focusing on the here and now. He wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." For the Stoics, this wasn't just advice, it was a practice that brought clarity, peace, and purpose to each day. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by distractions. constant notifications, never-ending to-do lists, and the pressure to plan for the future. But the truth is, none of us can control the past or predict the future. The only thing we truly have is the present moment. Yet how often do we waste it thinking about what we should have done yesterday or stressing over what we need to do tomorrow? By starting your day with a commitment to focus on the present, you free yourself from this cycle of anxiety. The Stoics recognized that it's in the present moment that we find true power and clarity. When you are fully engaged in the now, you stop worrying about things you cannot change or predict. You give your full attention to what is in front of you, whether it's a task, a conversation, or simply your own thoughts and feelings. This habit isn't just about mindfulness in the sense of meditation. It's about living with intention in every moment. Instead of rushing through your day, trying to juggle a dozen different things at once, you become deliberate with each action. When you focus on what's in front of you, whether it's the task at hand or the person you're interacting with, you engage more deeply and authentically. You stop wasting energy on distractions and start putting your best effort into what truly matters. One of the most powerful Stoic exercises is to ask yourself each morning, what is the most important thing I can do today? And then commit to focusing on that. Don't get caught up in trying to do everything, but concentrate your energy and attention on what is right in front of you. Whether you're working, spending time with loved ones, or simply reflecting, give it your full presence. This practice not only reduces anxiety, but also leads to more meaningful interactions and more productive actions. When you live in the present, you begin to see the richness of each moment. The mundane tasks that once felt like burdens become opportunities to practice focus and diligence. The people you meet throughout the day become individuals you can truly connect with, rather than passing encounters. And you begin to experience each day as it is, without the weight of what came before, or the fear of what may come next. By making the present your focus, you unlock the power to live with intention, clarity, and purpose every single day. Number 7, create a meaningful day. Set intentions and live by your values. One of the most powerful ways to approach each day is to set clear intentions and align your actions with your values. The Stoics believed in living with purpose, not just reacting to life as it happens. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of living in accordance with one's principles, and he would start each day by reminding himself of the kind of person he wanted to be. He understood that if you don't consciously choose your path, life will simply lead you wherever it may. Without intention, your actions may lack meaning or direction, and you may end up feeling unfulfilled, despite achieving external success. The practice of setting intentions goes beyond just thinking about what you want to accomplish. It's about deciding the type of person you want to be, how you want to treat others, and how you will live according to your values. At the start of each day, take a moment to reflect on your core principles. Is it kindness, honesty, integrity, discipline? Then, with those values in mind, set intentions that will guide your actions throughout the day. Ask yourself, what can I do today to embody these virtues? How can I make my day meaningful rather than just passing through it on autopilot? When you live with intention, you start to approach each moment with a sense of purpose. You begin to act consciously rather than reacting out of habit or impulse. Every task, every conversation, every decision becomes an opportunity to align with your values. It's about choosing to live intentionally rather than just letting life happen to you. This creates a sense of fulfillment and clarity as you know that each day is a step toward becoming the best version of yourself. Moreover, setting intentions helps to filter out distractions. In a world filled with endless distractions and demands on your time, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. When you begin your day by deciding what's important to you and what kind of person you want to be, you're less likely to get caught up in the chaos of external pressures. You become less reactive and more proactive. You can handle challenges with greater composure because you've already set the tone for your day, grounded in what truly matters to you. Living by your values also strengthens your sense of purpose and fulfillment. When your actions are aligned with your deeper principles, you experience a sense of meaning that can't be found in material success or external validation. At the end of each day, you can look back not only on what you achieved, but on how you lived with integrity, with kindness, with determination. You realize that every day is an opportunity to live in harmony with your truest self. And that in itself is what makes life meaningful. By creating a meaningful day, by setting your intentions and aligning your actions with your values, you begin to craft a life of purpose, fulfillment, and clarity. Each day becomes an opportunity to grow into the person you want to be, instead of simply going through the motions. In this way, you not only live with intention, but also create a life worth living. As you begin to incorporate these Stoic practices into your morning routine, remember that this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Each day is a new opportunity to live with intention, to cultivate inner peace, and to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. By embracing mindfulness, mastering your emotions, learning from setbacks, practicing humility and gratitude, taking responsibility for your actions, focusing on the present, and setting meaningful intentions, you are shaping your life with purpose and clarity. The Stoics believe that we have the power to control how we respond to the world around us. And by practicing these principles, you can move closer to that ideal. So as you wake up each morning, take a moment to reflect on the power you hold, the power to shape your day, your thoughts, and ultimately your life. Thank you for watching, and remember, it's not about perfecting your mornings, but about starting with the right mindset to make each day count. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. And let me know in the comments, which Stoic practice will you focus on today? Until next time, stay grounded, stay intentional, and live with purpose.